guys. Welcome back. So, how do we feel about the revival of Buffy? Any major Buffy fans that are just like, I'm not sure and I'm afraid to express my opinion to fellow Buffy fans cuz I raise my hand here. Like I am this video is going to be kind of me just talking about my overall feelings. This is going to be like me talking about how I think this season should have ended, probably like a couple seasons ago. What I think they should have done, and then now how I feel about the revival. Um, so I think, in all honesty, I think Buffy should have ended at season 5. I think they were at the super hype of the series. I think Glory was the best villain that they could have ever gotten, which is proven after season 6 and 7. Um and I think they should have stopped it there, and I think Buffy's sacrifice in the 5th season would have been the best ending ever in television in some ways. I think people would probably disagree with me and be like, but like, wouldn't you be sad that your main protagonist that you've been cheering on for years now is dead? And I'm like, but I feel like it's always been hinted that she was going to die. Her living at the end is, it tells me that they were probably planning a revival a long time ago and didn't want to say anything. But the thing with killing Buffy off in season 5 is what they could have done is they could have done a spinoff with Faith. And I think, depending on how you feel about Faith, I love Faith. I think she's an interesting, complex character. I think she's more complex than Buffy. She has, she's, she is part of that evil, like she did kill like a physical human at one point. She's done some other bad things. And she's like closer in morale to the vampires than Buffy is. Buffy is definitely very much closer to the light, and Faith is closer to the dark. So it would have been, to me, really interesting to have a Faith spinoff. Um, and I think having her like, and they could have had it to where like it was really close to the Angel show, where they could have had her constantly, maybe like, like they could have had that crossover a lot, and they could have had her in LA, and then Angels in LA, so they could have had a lot of crossover potential with that. I really did like the Angel show, and I liked how dark it got. And I think that is what I kind of wanted the next I think that's what they were trying to do with season 6 and season 7, was to kind of match it with Angel, but you can't do that when you have Buffy as a main character. Like, there's only so much that you can put Buffy through that will bring it as dark as what Angel gets. Um, and you would have to change the main character, and you would have to change it to Faith. If you were going to match like Angel energy, it would, like, you could kill off Buffy, you could have Faith. I don't know how long the show would have lasted without Sarah Michelle Gellar. Um, I love Sarah Michelle. This is nothing to do with like me actually hating Buffy. I love Buffy as a character. Like, I love that, like, she was like a blonde cheerleader type of looking person, and she like was going through her own struggles. Like, it's nothing against her, it's more against like the story as a whole. Like, my two favorite seasons is season 3 and season 5. Those are the two really strong seasons. Season 3 is like the transition into college, and then the college season was terrible. And then you had season 5 where she's kind of transitioning. She's dealing with like her mom, and she's kind of still in college, trying to do college. Um, so it's her transition, kind of trying to balance everything and not able to. Um, and I think it's a lot of growth for her character. But I think also with that growth is her understanding of what she really is. And I think the idea, and they bring this kind of more up in season 7 where she is deaf. So, and I think they do say that in like a couple other episodes. Like, I mean, the first season she goes down to the master to kill him and she dies. So, it's not new for Buffy to come back. But obviously, you're not going to kill her off in season 1. Like, you're just getting momentum in the show. Like, you're not going to kill Buffy off in season 1. Like, I get that. And I think a lot of what I kind of blame my weight in all this is watching too much Supernatural. And Supernatural had that trope where they were constantly bringing them back, and it was getting old. Um to the point I haven't finished Supernatural. Um but I really like, what are they going to do minus make her, I guess a trainer, a watcher. I just, because there's a lot of characters that can't come back. Like, there's no way you really can have Spike and Angel because the actors are too old, unless you're gonna be like, major makeup and or make them humor or give them like some type of excuse why they look a lot older. Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar being in her late 40s, 50s, that's fine. And even some of the other human characters, that's fine. But you can't bring in something I really liked about the last two seasons, if anything, was her relationship with Spike. Um Now, what what might be interesting is now that she's a lot older, maybe she's not much into the romance part of it. I can't see them not having a romantic interest for Buffy. Um, we'll see. To me, she's had her two loves. Like, she's had like the ultimate love of her life with Angel, and then she had Riley, which we don't talk about cuz whatever. I don't want him to come back at all. I didn't even want him to come back in season, I think it was season 6 where he makes a cameo. I was like, please go away. Um and then yeah, and then she had Spike, which to me was like this complicated love that I couldn't figure it out. I could tell like she really deeply did care about Spike, especially at the end. So it's like, how do you compete with that? Like, as a writer, like, how do you compete with those two men? Um and then it's like you really can't, and then it's like they can't really make cameos, so it's really complicated. And then, like, if they did it as like an animated series, like, they could possibly have those two come back like easily, like it wouldn't matter because it's an animated show. But, and please don't get new actors for those two. Just, if you're going, like, don't bring him back at all, or do some makeup or something, but do not get new actors for Angel and Spike just to have Angel and Spike come back. No, thank you. That would be like, I'm done. I've seen this revival. It's all good. Um, and then so the actress of Dawn unfortunately passed away recently. So I wouldn't want them to recast her either. Um, be kind of interesting if they played it as like maybe her, like Dawn has a daughter. Um, and her daughter might be a Slayer, so we can still kind of have that maybe. Willow, I definitely will think might make a cameo, might make a comeback. She's still alive and kicking, and she was in a better place by the time season 7 was over. The actor of Xander's got himself in trouble, so I hardly doubt he's gonna be making a comeback. Um, Plus with a lot of other reasons, like I don't think he's. Who else? Maybe some of the Slayers from season 7 might make a comeback. I really don't want it. Um, Man, who else can make a comeback? Because I think they killed Cordy off in Angel. Giles can make a comeback. I don't know. He's in his 70s, but he can make a quick cameo if he wanted to. Um, they killed Anya off. By the way, major spoilers for the show. I should have said something. Um, yeah, so it's like it's gonna have to be a really new cast, and I'm not now. I've seen videos recently, and I might get into this a little bit. About her friendship with Willow and Xander, and if it was really that great of a relationship. I have mixed feelings. I haven't rewatched Buffy for a while. I was starting to rewatch the first season, which I don't really feel like the first season is not really a good representation of their friendship going forward. And I feel like at the point of season 6, um like I kind of hated them. I hated both of them with a passion. Just because of like I really there was a reason why Giles went off, and I'm like she shouldn't came back. Like and I guess they could have pushed it further and further down the line. Like we could have potentially had like season 5 could have been another college season. We could have done it that way and really pushed it. We could have done maybe 3 college seasons, and then like the the 7th season maybe being like that glory season. Um they could have done it that way. I did not like that now everybody has a potential, because then it takes away the importance of Buffy just as a character. And I've noticed this in anime a lot, where somebody will have this like extreme power like at the beginning of the show. Sorry guys. And then by the end of it, like everybody has that power, and then it doesn't matter. So and that's kind of how I felt about Buffy at the end. Like, well, now what? Like you're not really important anymore. Faith is really not important anymore. Because it's not like it's just you two. And if it was just you two, like that would still be like low numbers where you could had like Faith as a traveling slayer and then you could have left Buffy in Sunnydale taking care of her sister, and then once her sister graduates maybe she travels a little bit more slaying until she got too old. Like I don't know. And then like one of them finally dies and then like one of them were gonna die eventually, and Faith kind of actually did. I guess she goes into a coma, which I guess doesn't do the Slayer thing because there wasn't like another Slayer when Faith was in a coma, so I guess that doesn't count. Um, she looked pretty much at death's door to me, but that's okay. But like they could have also killed Faith off too, and had like a different result, and had another Slayer replace her. Um, thank goodness they didn't, because her character really grows in season 7. That was like the only other thing I liked about season 7 was like Faith was a decent person. After Angel like puts her through like his whole thing, and her rehabilitation and stuff in prison and stuff that she goes through an Angel, like she becomes a decent person in season 7. So like with those two things, like thank you for season 6 and season 7, but we could have done this in other ways. um she could have helped fight Glory. We could have made Glory a little bit more like a little bit bigger of a thing if she was like the last season villain. Like she's still my favorite villain, but I still don't think she was that big. Like her impact until like the end of the season is just not there. Like it seemed like it's very very more personable than it is like more catastrophic. Um so that's kind of how I feel. I could go on and like talk about how I feel about the One Tree Hill revival. I'll probably do that in a different video. But I have similar feelings about it based off of what they're already saying who's not going to be in it. So I'm not really digging that. Like please just name it something different. Like I wouldn't mind if the two girls wanted to do something like complete different show, maybe not One Tree Hill related. Um and that like maybe don't revive Buffy, but maybe just do it as like a spin-off show or something. I don't know. Like there was like one point I think they were planning on a whole bunch of Buffy spin-offs because you could kind of tell. Like you had Giles go off for a while. Like what was he doing? We could have had his history. I would have rather seen that because that could have probably been a lot more interesting about how a Watcher is created. Um, we could have had a spinoff show with Willow and maybe did kill off Tara and had a show with them. I think that was another mistake, is to kill off Tara, because why did you kill off one of your better characters? Like, and I'm not even getting into like the whole other discussion that everybody else has with that. I'm just saying that Tara was really good to Buffy, really good to Dawn, and was a decent person. Like, and I'd hate to say like it should have been Willow, but I'm like, because Dark Willow, oh my god, that was like the best. Like that was Willow, like at her best. Was Dark Willow. Like, I think, like, we were waiting for her to go berserk because it's like, okay, you're goody goody gun drops, goody goody gun drops, goody goody gun drops for like this whole thing, and then something needed to shatter you. Um, because I feel like in the same season, like we see Xander like show his nasty side too. So it's like, which we've seen those two do other horrible things, but they're a little bit more forgivable than what these two do in season 6. Like, they're horrible in season 6. Like, nobody can tell me I'm wrong about Willow and Xander being horrible in season 6. They're horrible to Buffy with everything she's going through. And that's like beginning to end. Like, I'm talking about, okay, we brought Buffy back without her permission. Like, we didn't have a talk with her or anything. No seance or anything. Like, hey, I want to come back. I'm in a bad place. Like, save me or something. Like, no, we didn't get any of that. And then Xander does all he does, which I'm spoiling everything, so I'm just gonna say. So Xander leaving Anya at the altar, probably the best thing that he could have done for Anya, because, but did not, in some ways, did not sit right with me, because it was like a vision of something like that didn't exist, and I'm like, if you were just gonna have one more season, you might as well just had them married, and then, like, or not. I didn't. That whole storyline was stupid. And then I think Willow getting what she got was the best thing. Like, Tara breaking up with Willow, saying you're using too much magic. Like, I can't be around you right now. And then Willow getting all addicted and losing it and almost killing Dawn in a car accident and all this other stuff. Like, that was the best storyline, but it doesn't make Willow look good. Finally. Like, and I feel like, depending on how you feel about, like, these two, like, is like, I don't know. If they didn't come back in the revival, I would be kind of sad, but I'm like, at the same time, would she still be friends with these two at the end? And that's kind of the thing that, like, we have to think about as people watching. Like, do we want, like, Willow and Xander? Like, we don't want Xander back. I think what they're probably going to do with Xander is they're probably going to just say he died. And we're probably going to leave it at that. Willow's probably going to make a few cameos. But I think they're going to pretty much do a full new cast. Like, and somebody said, like, Cordelia was better friend than. And I'm like, I'm kind of agreeing. Like, there's been a lot of shorts and, like, TikToks with that scene where Giles drugs Buffy for, like, one of her tests for the Watcher Guild, and Buffy's like, "Can you take me home?" She's like, "Of course." Like, I think she's just I love Cordelia. Like, I just think she has so much more to give, and I think she really grows by, like, the time that we get through her and Angel. She, like, really grows up a lot. So, like, that could be really fun to that would have been really fun to explore. And they could bring Cordelia back. Like, in Buffyverse, she's not dead. I mean, not everybody watched Angel. Like, we can play that. It's whatever. Like, just pretend the angel verse doesn't exist and bring Cordelia back, I'd be okay with that. Like, that's okay. Um, yeah, but like anybody that's a vampire, I really don't think they're gonna be coming back. Giles might make a cameo. Um, but yeah, I think like really the only person we might see is Willow. And of course Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, but everybody else, like, I either don't want to see or is probably not going to show up. If they can figure out Spike and Angel, like, I would be really happy. Um, but I don't think either one of those two are really interested, and I don't blame them. Like, there was a scene where an Angel, like, they kind of run into Buffy, but like it's not Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, you don't really see her face, and like they're talking about her, so it's like, okay, she's just standing. But I don't know, I just feel like we lived there. I felt like we lived that drama with them. Um and I just don't see them wanting to do that moving forward, but I don't know. But anyways, like and subscribe. And I'll see you in a video coming real soon. Bye.